Memories are a weird thing. I'm only in my early 20s and I can already begin to feel like time is rapidly increasing. Moments and memories that felt so close in reality are actually years past. For us, the older we get, it seems like time just speeds up. I am sure there is a boring scientific reason for it. Yet, the important part to me is how to deal with that feeling. The ever-present feeling of time lost, or if misused, often turns to a sense of dread. Enter Frieren, a short 28-episode anime about an elf mage in a fantasy adventure. Different from other fantasy epics, Frieren is a character-focused show set after the grand spectacle of defeating the evil villain and saving the world. It focuses on the cast of characters and the moments throughout their journey, specifically Frieren herself, a character who struggles with time like none other I've ever seen. Although time is a widespread talking point about Frieren and the series as a whole, I can't stress enough how well everything revolves around it. Not only does it share life lessons around this subject, but it adds to it with a plethora of topics constructed and paced with the notion of it too. In the beginning, we meet Frieren and her adventuring party that defeated the Demon King. It's a prologue that's a springboard for Frieren and her life moving forward, one that's immensely soul-crushing with so little being revealed. Like Frieren, we truly don't know these people within the party, yet within moments, they're gone. We feel what Frieren has to deal with, that passing of time, moving faster as it goes. If she lives so long, how must this feel like for her? I believe it feels like what it's like for the audience. Brief. Yet like her, we feel their impact. From the small, intimate moments we share, it's that key detail the series hones in on moving forward. The value of life isn't determined by how much or how little time it has. This had me engaged immediately. I never so hastily latched to a character like Frieren. I don't think this show could have come at a better time for myself. Constantly, I was taken aback by how well Frieren handled incorporating scenes from the past into the present. The most outstanding example is Himmel. Throughout the season, Frieren goes through a journey to discover more about the companions she adventured with. Among other things, his impact on her life continues to blossom as she's reminded of her interactions with him, discovering further meaning behind his words and experiences shared with her. The same is true about the other members, Eisen and Haiter. Every episode has something to convey, something to leave the audience with. Most being introspective lessons, specifically tied to time and experiences. Not once does a flashback to the hero's party feel disconnected or out of place. They are always there to add to a message or a theme happening in the present. Often lessons are learnt again or represented and expanded upon, in which Frieren and others draw on past and present to develop a new understanding or overcome a hurdle. Constantly repeating this process throughout her journey, she explores life's quality, not through the measurement of time, but through a moment's interaction. However, she still struggles with the quantity, the challenge of being practically immortal, lazy, unmotivated, and distant at times. An example that sticks out to me is episode 4, The Land Where Souls Rest. In this episode, Frieren has her and Fern help out an old town she ventured to in her past. Frieren states to Fern that they are doing so for her own interest, which we later find out is because she wishes to witness the New Year's festival sunrise, one she missed when the hero's party asked her to see it before. The reason why? Simply being because she sleeps in regularly. Something so trivial, yet it's a moment that she didn't share with Himmel and the others. Her sleeping could easily be attributed to just a character quirk, but I believe it's more than meets the eye, as Frieren is someone who, because of her extended lifespan, has less urgency to experience life, resulting in less of a need to wake up and make the most of the day, as she has an overabundance of them to come. She wishes to see the sunrise, but is held back by her own sense of time, and it's that back and forth of quality versus quantity, a back and forth she momentarily loses, almost missing out again if it weren't for Fern. It's so well written, having the lesson about sharing a moment with someone you care for, elevating an experience, and then making that very person be the cause of you being able to experience it. It drives home the final moment when Frieren is staring at a Fern in joy, having realized why Himmel wished for Frieren to see the sunrise. Fern is swept away in the sun's beauty, as it's something finite for her lifetime, as it only happens once a year. Fern is in wonderment, and Frieren would have missed it if she had slept in. The feeling you get from seeing someone you care for happy, a shared experience. Fern and Frieren's dynamic is something I adore, as it draws parallels to a lot of Frieren's other relationships she's had in the past, while somehow allowing Fern to feel unique as a character. Every episode, like I mentioned, utilizes the past to aid the present, telling an almost simultaneous story. It makes the theme of time constantly present throughout Frieren's run. It brings forth character growth for more than Frieren but the entire cast. The show's writing is like a large intertwining web, even with details as small as a sour grape spell being character enriching and relevant between the differing parties and years past. It's this web that connects everything with Frieren at its center. It paves the way for us to experience a show that's able to use its messaging and theme as a core narrative technique, as moments that affected Frieren in her past are moments that she's able to relive and now pass on, affecting a whole new generation, primarily only in Stark and Fern, which is why I adore the exam arc. Frieren bestows her knowledge to a vast variety of mages, young and old, during the exams. Each character interaction is an exchange of lessons that every character develops from. It's a sublime way to have a powerful character as a protagonist be deeply engaging. Her growth is tied to learning and understanding more about life, instead of the needing of powerful new magic spells to defeat an antagonist. I find it just so captivating.
After all, for to live is to be known, to live is to be remembered.
What do you suppose I should do for someone to remember me?
You should change their life, even if it's only in some small way.
Frieren changed Himmel's life, and without her even noticing, Himmel also changed hers. For Frieren to then affect so many with her long lifespan. No matter how mundane it may be, she has an everlasting effect on people wherever she goes. Her kindness is a treasure to watch. Frieren's efforts to help others with tasks large and small, all contributing to making the world a better place, make the story engrossing and wholesome. It delivers clearly the message of cherishing moments in life, no matter how fleeting or insignificant they may seem, because in reality, they are all significant. I love it so much. Frieren's immersive narrative is attributed to so many from the extensively fantastic production, with an outstanding team of artists. Notably to me, Korichio Saito's direction alongside Evan Cole's score brings Kanehito Yamada's story to life in the most faithful and remarkable way. The talent at work is exceptional across the board. Every episode feels like a tribute to Sakasa Abe's amazing illustrations. And frankly, Mallory Rodak has me in like a Makima-like hold. I love her performance as Frieren. It's no wonder to me that this show has reached #1 on my anime list. There's a lot to Frieren, both as a character and a show. One that has reached my pedestal of stories. I was overwhelmed in the most calm and peaceful way. Although completely different, Vinland Saga and Frieren are two shows I didn't know I needed until I had them. Once the season had ended, I immediately missed being in the world of Frieren. I'm just so grateful to have stories in anime like this that can appeal to me in ways I never would have thought. Either a confused retired Viking or a long-living elf mage, it's their humane messages that connect us. Their lives, arcs, and world are so effortlessly comparable when at face value, they seem completely separate. That's the joy of an enriching tale. Something so balanced in relatability and immersion that it causes you to reflect without being taken out of the narrative at play, reminding me of the significance of art. Shows like Frieren encapsulate the importance of stories. It's a show to be appreciated, something I'm sure I'll be doing more with here on the channel. I'm excited to see the journey continue and have gained a newfound appreciation for making the most of my time with those around me. Frieren is an anime that I would never in a million years would have thought to have watched a couple years ago, even last year. So my question is this: what is an anime that surprised you in the same way Frieren surprised me? That anime with 12 episodes that you thought nothing of, that years later you still think about. I'm sure there are tons of unknown gems that really emotionally moved you, and I want to hear about them. So let me know down below, and who knows, I might check them out. Give me your best recommendations, as well as your thoughts on Frieren Season 1. That's it for this video. Thanks to my patrons. In the top mate tier, we have Nick. In the great mate tier, we have Colin and CJ. And lastly, in the good mate tier, we have Jadu Sable. Subscribe to the channel if you want. Join the Discord. Links in the description down below. Thanks.